All right, so we are going to be doing a little bit of discussion on Newton's third law stations. So remember, for each one of these stations, there is an equal and an opposite force for every force applied. That force is, we're going to be focusing on using two things in a situation. So there'll be object A and object B. Force of object A applied on B is always going to be equal to the force applied by B on A, but in the opposite direction. When you work on this worksheet, you're going to be drawing two dots to represent the two objects and the force pair that results from both of those. So we're going to go through 7 stations and talk about each one of those. We'll start with station 1 here. Station 1 is going to be a cart on the track. So we're going to turn this air on and we're going to watch mainly this collision here on the end of the track, the force pair that happens between this collision. So I'm going to go ahead and turn on the air. All right, so what's happening as it goes there? So for station 1, we're going to be focusing on this cart on the track. It's going to see a collision. So I'm going to turn the air on. The cart's going to come down and it's going to make a collision with the end. We're going to draw two force pairs, or one force pair with two forces on the track applying a force and the cart applying a force. So station 2 is going to be involving this basketball, and we're going to ask ourselves, why does a basketball bounce when we throw it down? What are the two forces in the force pair between the basketball and the ground? And then I'm going to ask you, why does a basketball bounce? Use forces to answer your question. For station 3, we're going to look at this anvil, which is connected to the ceiling. We're going to draw two sets of force pairs for this anvil. The first one's going to be between the anvil and the rope. What's the force pair that's going on there? Then you're going to draw another force pair for the rope and the ceiling. So think about, what are the two force pairs? Down here there's a force pair, down there, up there there's a force pair. For station 4, we're going to use this force sensor and a skateboard, and I'm going to push myself off the wall using the force sensor. It's going to measure the amount of force I apply into the wall. Think about what the force pair is there. While I do this, I'm going to collect data on my computer. Let's check that data out. Okay, we're looking at our data here. We see the force shoots up when I go ahead and hit off the wall. And we'll click here. We can see it says 67.65 N, which stands for newtons, which is how we're going to measure forces. So go ahead and give that value to the amount of force that I applied in the wall, and think about, what was the other force that was also working in that situation. For station 5, we're going to do a pretty simple one. We're going to go ahead and we're going to push our thumb into the table. We're going to think about the thumb as one object and the table as the other object. What is the force pair that's going on between your thumb and the table? For station 6, we're going to look at this flower pot resting on the table here. We're going to think about the flower pot between the table. What is the force pair that's interacting between these two? Pretty simple one. Think about it.